Good morning, YouTube. I'm Sarah and this is Sew Me Sarah, and you're very welcome here to my channel on Sunday, the 16th of March 2025. This is a channel all about cross stitch, chatter, cross stitch goodies, and yes, actual stitching. So if this is your first time here on the channel, I hope that you will enjoy and consider subscribing if you do enjoy. And if you find that my stitching is not your cup of tea, or my channel isn't your cup of tea, then please go and check out some of the many other floss tubers, because we are all a very diverse lot, stitching many different things and presenting in many different styles. I am quite sure that there are people out there who are your cup of tea. So please have a good look around Flosstube on the YouTube interface and see if you can find something that really floats your boat. I do hope that you will like it here and that you will stay, of course. And those of you who have done that in the past and are now very faithful members of my community, I thank you so much for coming back time after time. I want to thank you since last time for all of the lovely well wishes that you sent for my poor back. It is getting much better. I am off the foggy meds, but it's still a bit tender, to be honest. And as a result, concentration levels are flagging. So my stitching hasn't quite been up to par. Finding that a little bit frustrating, to be honest, but these things happen, don't they? So yes, I just haven't had the concentration span because I'm still in a little bit of pain, and I tend to be okay throughout the day, or just a little bit tender during the day, and then by evening when I want to sit and stitch, I'm actually quite sore. So I'm sure that many of you can resonate. If you're sore, your concentration levels just dip massively. So it's a little bit frustrating to get to the fun part of your day and then not be able to do the thing that you've been looking forward to all afternoon. Anyway, it'll happen, it'll come back, it is getting better, and thank you all so much for your well wishes. I have the winner to announce from the last episode. I was sharing these patterns, these spring patterns. We have Spring Whimsies by Scissortail Designs and Welcome Spring from Brenda Gervais. It is Brenda Gervais, isn't it? Yeah, sometimes her patterns are Brenda Gervais, sometimes they are with needle and thread. I'm not sure what or why the difference, but anyway, we all know Brenda Gervais, no matter which name she comes under. These were the two spring patterns that I was kindly gifted by viewers, and I wanted to share them with you. So the winner of that share away is Mrs. Faraway. So Mrs. Faraway, if you are able to get in touch with me shortly, I will pop these in the post to you. You can get in touch either using the email address that's in the drop down box below, or you can direct message me on Instagram. I'm Sew Me Sarah over there on Instagram. Drop me your mailing address and I will try to get to the post office as soon as I can and post these beauties to you. So thank you all for your interest in those little spring charts. If you watch to the end, I do have another lovely share away for you just before I finish up today. Okay, the other really exciting thing that happened since I saw you last was that last weekend I made a little trip across the Irish Sea to Wales to meet with a few floss tubing friends, friends that I've met at retreats and who are other floss tubers as well. So you will know some of these names when I mention them. But we planned a little Airbnb getaway, just 6 of us all together. And it was wonderful. It was so lovely to meet them. Some I have met in person at retreats before, and a couple that I haven't but know through Instagram and floss tubing. So it was lovely to put faces, well, I do know everybody's face, but it was lovely to meet people in person, give them a hug and get to know them a little bit better. As you can imagine, it was a very chatty weekend. There was lots of laughter, lovely conversations, getting to know people, and of course just being able to talk stitching in an appreciative setting. So it's lovely to talk with people who get it, who understand, and who are as excited as us about our stitching and all things stitching. And of course it was Nashville Market Weekend, so we had a little chat about market releases too. So I was away with Marie from Stitches and Diamonds, with Sally from Sally from Flossy Sews and Grows, Charly from Charly Feathers, Kim from Stitchy Squirrels, Sarah from Cross Stitch Sarah, Yaz from Yasmin's Made It With Love should have been with us, but unfortunately wasn't able to be. And then there was me. So we were in a beautiful cottage in Wales. As I say, I'm going to pop in a couple of little pictures, although they do not do justice. They do not do justice to the amazing scenery and landscape around us. And I will stop talking for just a minute because I have a bird song video for you of the scenery. This was the view from our back patio of the Airbnb, and the birds were singing. It was perfect spring weather. So as I say, the 6 of us got together for the weekend and we did all the stitchy chatting. We had a visit. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later on in this episode. But we do what all stitchers do, pardon me, when they get together, and that is we swapped some lovely gifts. So since this weekend was planned to be in Wales, we had originally on our WhatsApp group tried to think of what we could call ourselves, our WhatsApp group, and we were trying to think of Welsh things like the daffodil, and then Kim, I think, suggested love spoons, and we sort of adopted the name the Love Spoon Stitchers. So Charly's gift represented both of those things. The love spoon, so a little love spoon keyring. Isn't it just gorgeous? If you don't know about Welsh love spoons or haven't seen Welsh love spoons before, it's really worth a Google just to see the artistry and craftsmanship of the carving and the symbolism that's involved in the Welsh love spoon. There are many different types and designs, and they have, like our samplers have motifs with meaning, so do the love spoon designs. They have motifs carved into them that have meaning for marriage and family and all kinds of things. So worth having a little Google to find out a little bit more about that. But Charly found us all a love spoon keyring and this beautiful little badge, which is the daffodil, and also blue Cornish ware, because Charly comes from Cornwall, so this couldn't be more perfect for her to pass on as a gift to us. So that is our little gift from Charly. So thank you so much, Charly. I'm looking forward to using those, and of course turning that little pin badge probably into a needle minder. Then there was Kim from Stitchy Squirrels, and this gift couldn't be more apt for Kim. I'm just getting it out of the little bag. So she gave us a little daffodil yellow bag with a needle minder, and we each had a gorgeous little scissor fob. Look at the little tulip beads. I just love it. I love it so much. And we each had a different, it was made differently, but this is gorgeous spring daffodil colours. And the most perfect of all, for someone who is Stitchy Squirrels on Instagram and on YouTube, she found a squirrel in Welsh dress with a daffodil. Now Kim is actually Welsh, so even more appropriate. Some of us, like me, were blow-ins for the weekend, but she is proper Welsh. And she was very good, very patient, trying to teach us how to pronounce some of the Welsh place names. I think she's probably rolling her eyes or giggling, one of the two, massively at us. But this little squirrel sticker in Welsh dress, so that is going into my stitching journal for the weekend. So now that I've shown it to you. So thank you so much for those sweet little gifts, Kim. Sarah, Cross Stitch Sarah, had us all choose one of these beautiful little Emma Bridgewater tins. She had 5 different ones, one for each of us. And inside she had some very lovely coordinating accessories. So this is a teeny weeny Ort tin, a lovely pair of needles, and then she gave us 2 of those magic wands that are great for taking away the fluff residue when you've had the frog visit. I needed this quite considerably on the weekend, that's all I'm going to say. But thank you, Sarah. It's always lovely to get some little stitchy accessories, and of course a pretty tin makes it all the better. So I chose Buttercup tin. Marie, who was not able to join us for the whole weekend as planned, just due to family circumstances, Marie joined us on Saturday afternoon, and she brought with us a beautiful gift, a beautiful box of, if I could speak it would really help. She brought with her a beautiful box of her Swan Bay fabrics and allowed us all to choose a fabric that we liked. So you know there's not a Swan Bay fabric that I don't like. So this is a Pemberley one of a kind. So this is a Pemberley dye that just took a little bit differently than Marie and Gunter had expected, and it's beautiful. So I will of course add this to my ever-growing Swan Bay stash, and I will choose something beautiful to stitch on it. Thank you so much, Marie, for that fat quarter. And Sally, my lovely Sally, who I got to spend some wonderful time with, she took really great care of me. She picked me up from the train station and she drove me over to our retreat. We were able to stop and have lunch, and so we had a little bit of time together before we met everyone else. And it was just so lovely because we spent such a long time communicating virtually last year. We missed each other at Stitch in London, so we didn't actually get together during our year of 50 starts, but it was so good to catch up with Sally. And Sally gave us all a little gift bag with a personal stitch in. So my stitch is this little hexie from the Hands On Design Vintage Stitch 2 hexie pattern. And she stitched it and then made it into this beautiful little pillow for me, and she added some very special fabric to her on the back. So thank you so much. I'm so delighted to be able to put these into my shelves and around my stitching area. So it's gorgeous. Sally also had found these little boards in B&M, I think. Yes, B&M is on the sticker at the back, so I'm sharing it with you. She thought we could use it obviously for finishing, so it's very cute. I would say it's 4 inches across the whole way perhaps. So you could mount your stitching on the back, or if your stitching was smaller and you maybe want to cover that Let's Eat, you could stitch it there. So always nice to find a little finishing item. So thank you so much, Sally. So weren't we very blessed to have all these lovely gifts for the weekend? And of course, I have been doing some secret stitching, which I've told you about. And the secret stitching was my gift for everyone who attended. Now, in the foggy haze of diazepam and whatever, cocodamol and whatever else I was on for my back, I could swear that I took a video before I packed, which would have shown you what I stitched for everyone. But it seems that really I didn't, and I think I really didn't. Now, I don't know. I did intend to. My intentions were good. Anyway, I have borrowed a photograph from Cross Stitch Sarah because she posted her gifts on her Instagram page this week. So here is a picture of what I stitched for everyone. Now, Sarah's was pink. I stitched them in all different colours. I had asked on the WhatsApp group what kind of colours everybody's favourite, or Sally just said she was really into, although purple is her favourite, she was really into aquas and teals at the moment. So Sally got one that was in aqua and teal. Kim had chosen red and Marie had chosen red, so I did some reds. So I'll show the picture again. This little design was designed by me. Yes, by me. And of course, it's a little love spoon design with the year of our retreat on it. Each spoon is in a different shade of the colour that was preferred by everyone when I asked them, and I managed to stitch 6 of them, and one went to Yaz as well, because even though she wasn't able to join us, I had one for her. So that was fun, choosing all of their thread colors. It was fun challenging myself to do a little design, and also then I mounted them on button coasters. Now I had originally intended to mount them on the back of the coaster so that you could still see the beautiful button aspect, but I hit a problem. Those little rubbery foam feet that are on the back of the coasters, when they came off, they marked the coasters, and I couldn't get them covered so that you didn't see them, so that kind of spoiled the look. So I ended up mounting them on the front of the button, which was a bit of a shame, but there you go. And then I gifted everyone another fancy floss in their preferred colour. Not necessarily the colour that I'd stitched in. As you can see from Sarah's photo, she got a brighter pink to actually stitch with herself. So that was my gift for the weekend. So it was fun to trade little gifts. So that was our weekend. We ate well, we chatted well, we laughed, we stitched a little bit, some of us better than others, some of us more than others. And we had a little visit while we were there to a local needlework shop, and I'm going to talk about that towards the end of the video and show you what I got there. When I came home from the weekend away, there was a parcel waiting for me, and it was a very big parcel, which turned out to be some wonderful Happy Mail from Hazel. Now, I'm sure that if you've watched any of the recaps of Stitch in London on any of the years, you've heard Hazel mentioned. Hazel is a very generous stitcher, and she gifts prolifically to her stitchy friends at retreats, and to everyone at retreats. And she has become well known in the community for that generosity. Well, she very kindly extended that generosity to me for my 50th birthday. So this was the 50th birthday parcel from Hazel. Now, it came in a large box, all well wrapped up. And I want to show you what the goodies inside were. So there's a pretty card with Hazel's lovely thoughts. So thank you very much, Hazel. And then there was this beautiful patchwork pouch. Now, Hazel is a very talented quilter. So she made this little patchwork pouch and she filled it with goodies. But I want you to have a wee look. There's patchwork, there's ribbon embroidery and embellishment, there are some yo-yos and buttons. Everything is just so pretty and so beautiful. And inside, of course, she had filled it with goodies. And believe it or not, the chocolate ones are still there. I don't know why. I must have forgotten that they were there because they don't normally last that long. But there are chocolate goodies in there, and then there were also tucked in this amazing pineapple patchwork pincushion. And it's teeny tiny. I would say it's 2 inches square finished. And look at how many rounds of that pineapple patchwork she has achieved with kind of Liberty-esque teeny tiny prints. These are perfect small prints for such a tiny design. I can't believe that you did this. I've tried the pineapple on bigger designs and enjoyed stitching it, but I just can't imagine doing it this small, Hazel. Perfect work. And then tucked inside there were 3 fancy flosses for me. Purely pretty. There's a little like a macaron scissor fob. Oh, hold it up a bit so you can see. Little strawberries on, cute polka dot on the back. Very pretty, thank you. And there was a little stitched piece in of an umbrella. So thoughtful, thank you. Of course I love umbrella pieces. I don't know if you can see, but along the bottom there are little heart motifs. I think they're small hearts, but they've got like a sparkle in the thread. Can you just catch that maybe? Anyway, it's gorgeous. So Hazel sent this and said that I could finish it in the way that I like. So of course I will try my best to live up to how pretty this stitching is and make it into something lovely. So thank you so much, Hazel. That is just perfect. Now, all of that you would think would be more than enough as a gift, but oh no, there is a pièce de résistance in this box, dans la boîte, and it is a drum, and it is amazing. Look at this drum. I don't know what the design is. It does look like it's probably a blackbird, but it might not be. As I say, I don't know what it is, but it's just wonderful. Sorry. This is really challenging my presentation skills, isn't it? And if you look, there are so many elements to this. So not only is there the beautiful stitching of the drum panel itself, but then it is finished with gorgeous herringbone stitch, beaded herringbone stitch to close up the drum. The base of the drum is a log cabin patchwork. Yeah, log cabin. And then this ribbon around the bottom is fantastic. What a beautiful embellishment. And then the top of the drum is finished with a beautiful velveteen and some gorgeous lace. So this is an heirloom piece, if ever. So I feel very honoured that you would spend all this time stitching for me, Hazel. Thank you so much. I have sent you a little card in the post. I hope it has arrived by now, just to say thank you, because I don't have electronic contacts for you. But it did arrive safely. It is absolutely stunning and will take pride of place. Thank you so much, Hazel. That is so generous and so thoughtful as always. And Hazel never sends a package or comes to me at Stitch in London without bringing something for Charlotte too. So I'm not sure that all of the goodies are here because Charlotte ran off with some of them, and her sweet treat is long gone. But Hazel stitched this beautiful little bag. And of course, Charlotte loves little bags to fill with all her bits and pieces. But Hazel had included bits and pieces in here, so let me see. Now, Charlotte has been in here with the stampers and things, so she has filled her own things in. But we've got a gorgeous little purse for Charlotte, and a bookmark with an owl on the top. Isn't that cute? So much detail, so much work gone into these, Hazel. Beautiful. There was also a notepad and pen, and Charlotte has been very busy in her notepad and pen. Mostly, I have to say, writing Stinky Mummy in it, but there is one that says, I love you, Mummy. Look. Even if she did spell it the American way. And this is zombies, this one. So she has been busy with her notebook and pen. And yeah, she's hilarious. Anyway, that is, oh yeah, it's covered in chocolate, see? Anyway, and a beautiful pen. So Hazel, thank you so much for remembering Charlotte. You're always very thoughtful. So weren't those lovely surprises to come home to after being away for the weekend? Okay, let me share with you some stitching now. I know we've done a lot of stitching talk, but it's time to share some actual stitching. In spite of being away for the weekend, there was not as much stitching achieved as I would like. The frog came to visit considerably. I found it very frustrating. I think I was tired, concentration levels, but I was very happy. We were just chatting and it was all fine. Anyway, I'll share some of the stitching from the weekend with you, but others I stitched it and could show you, but then I had to unpick it, so there isn't anything to show you. So anyway, this is a fully finished object now. It is the Cotton and Twine January subscription box. This was their collaboration with Emma Congdon. Is it that way up? yes, this is their subscription with Emma Congdon. We did this as a stitch along in February, over 4 weeks, and I loved every happy stitch of it. The colours are beautiful. The whole spring thing was just warming my heart at the time, and I loved it. So I finished it in a hoop, which is as it was planned to be. It was designed for a hoop, and I wrapped the hoop. So I have a tutorial on here on the channel for a wrapped hoop. So if you would like to see how I do that, it's quite simple really, and it's on Flosstube Extra number 2. I will link it in the show notes for you if you're interested in seeing how I wrap the hoop with fabric. So you can see it's just a green fabric, and I thought it went really well with the greens that were in the design. So that is my fully finished Stitching My Way to Happiness. I love it. Can't wait to put it on a shelf. I think I'm going to put it over in my stitching corner and shuffle things around a little bit to make room for it. So it's so lovely. Next I have a finish, which is a Historical Sampler Company stitch along. Yes, I've actually finished. This is the Little Owl Patchwork Sampler, and it's so lovely. This was the first of the stitch alongs from Historical Sampler Company this year. It started on the 1st of January, released in 4 parts. You can now purchase the pattern, the fully released pattern as PDF or as a kit on their website. I will link that down below for you, and you can order on a 16 count Aida or a 32 count linen. I stitched it on the linen, and it is gorgeous, really gorgeous. I don't know how I'm going to finish it. I am tempted to make it into a pillow, a cushion for the sofa, but I'm not sure yet, and I think I'll mull that over. But I'm just so happy to have caught up and to have finished it as well. So that is the Little Owl Patchwork Sampler. Thank you so much to Historical Sampler Company for inviting me to join them on that stitch along. Their next stitch along is currently available for pre-order. It starts on the 31st of March and is a gorgeous spring design called The Secret Garden. So far from the sneak peeks, I'll insert pictures as I'm chatting. From the sneak peeks, I've seen birdhouses, which I love, and spring flowers, and a little squirrel, I think, or a fox. Sorry, I've forgotten whether it's a squirrel or a fox. It could possibly be both. And then, of course, the rest of the design is kind of covered and a mystery for us. It will be released in fortnightly parts again. This time there will be 5 parts to the chart, and you can order that, pre-order it now. You can order it as a PDF only. You can order it as a full kit, either in linen or in Aida. So that's a 16 count Aida or a 32 count linen. You will get in your full kit, you will get everything that you need. You will get your fabric, your floss, and a needle. And then the patterns will come later by PDF to your email address. And that will be, again, as I said, from the 31st of March in fortnightly parts. There was, as always, Historical Sampler Company have a gift box option to go along with their stitch alongs. But for the Secret Garden, this one has already sold out. It sold out in record time. I think it was record time anyway. And it has some beautiful, beautiful accessories in the box. So included in there will be a squirrel needle minder, a canvas project bag, some pink heart scissors, a Nurge hoop, and a lavender retractable tape measure. Now, although the actual, the complete gift box itself is not available anymore, a number of those items are available to order separately and singly. And if you go to the page for the stitch along and click on the drop down options so that you can choose your PDF only, or your full kit with it, or full kit with linen. You will also see some of those accessories listed because they are available to purchase separately, so you can kind of pick and choose the ones that you really want to have if you missed out on the gift box. So make sure to do that and check that out, because the gift box is a beautiful option, but it sells really, really quickly. And if you feel like you missed out a little bit, maybe you can pick up the needle minder and the scissors and the tape measure, those kinds of things. Maybe you can pick those up separately. The dispatch date for this sale is the 18th of March, so that's Tuesday of this week. Of course, if you order a little bit later, they'll dispatch then, but the main dispatch for everyone who has pre-ordered will be on Tuesday the 18th, and then of course your PDFs will arrive on the 31st of March. So all of that is linked below if you are interested in the next stitch along from Historical Sampler Company. Okay, back to my stitching. My daily thread piece. So this is, as you know, I have a habit of a daily thread. If I'm going to stitch in the day, I'll have a little warm-up session with one length of thread. That means I load my needle once. Okay, I'm always asked what length do you consider that? Load your needle once. That's all you need to do. If it's 2 strands, load it once. If it's 1 strand, load it once. And that takes me probably about 25 minutes to stitch through. Sorry, there's a helicopter just gone by. Very unusual. So yes, load your needle once and stitch, and that takes me about 25 minutes. I consider it like a little bit of a warm-up session, and I introduced it originally to kind of move a few whips on that I knew I wasn't touching the way I wasn't getting to and touching in the regular way that I wanted to. So it has become a happy habit of mine, and I am currently stitching the Modern Folk Embroidery Dream of a Winter Garden as my daily thread stitch. I started to stitch this on the 1st of January. It was my New Year, New Start, along with Stitchy Sally. And we have been stitching this together as a SAL with using the hashtag Winter Garden SAL 2025. You're very welcome to join with us, and some other folks have, and it's lovely to see what they are doing with the pattern and the stitch and the colours and all of the things. So I have stitched, sometimes I have taken a focus day or two and stitched a little bit, but on the whole I have been stitching this on a daily basis, or on the days when I have been stitching as my daily thread. And here's where I am so far. Probably not a huge amount further than the last time. I can't quite remember if I had this bird in, but I finished the bird and then this little star up here, and moved over to start the tree trunk, or the vine, whatever, well, call it a tree trunk for want of a better expression. It's not quite a tree, is it? Flower stalk, that would be better. I stitched up here some because I was continuing the use of this colour, and that's where I've got to. So that is my progress on Dream of a Winter Garden. It's a beautiful stitch, beautiful pattern, as Jacob always does. So that's that one. Then I had some progress on a Whip Go call. So my Whip Go calls for this month are the Bee Queen, which is the Tiny Modernist pattern, and my Christmas List, which is Heart in Hand. I think it's Heart in Hand. Sorry, I'll tell you next time because I don't have that one to show you today. So what I do have to show you is the Bee Queen. So my aim is to pick up these stitches and stitch 5 hours on them when they're called on Whip Go. That is, 5 hours is kind of 2 nights of stitching for me. So my Bee Queen currently looks like this. She's so gorgeous. I absolutely love stitching her. I really, really do. So I stitched in this part of her bodice and her arm and out to her hand. Look at her beautiful sleeve. And then come down here on this patterned texture part of her dress. So she's absolutely gorgeous. It doesn't look a lot for 5 hours of stitching. But yeah, concentration. Lacking concentration. But there you go, it is progress, and I did meet my 5-hour goal on WhipGo. Of course, I would like to keep her going, but there's so many pieces that I like to keep going, so we'll see when I get back to her. But it's always lovely to have something beautiful in your stash, even if you have, even your whip pile, even if you haven't quite gotten around to it recently. I've been very remiss, I've just realised, and not told you about all the fabrics and the flosses that I've been using for my projects. So the Bee Queen is actually stitched on a 32 count platinum Murano. So in the UK and possibly Europe, we have 32 count even weave is called Murano. I've noticed in the UK that all even weave seems to be called Lugana, whether it's 28 count or 32 count. So, but it's platinum Zweigart even weave, and the called for DMCs, with the exception of this central part of her dress, which I've substituted the called for DMC with Queen Bee from Classic Colorworks, but everything else is as called for. Apologies for not giving you the thread and fabrics for things. I really will have to try better at that. Okay, next whip is my stitch along for the Facebook group Across the Pond, and this is a stitch along that we're doing for 2025 as a whole Facebook group, and we're stitching La-di-da's one stitch at a time. We chose this by a vote last autumn on the Facebook group, and this was the resulting winner. And so what I did was I divided the pattern up and into 10 parts, and we are stitching it by assignment if you want to. If you don't want to stitch by assignment, you don't have to. Some folks have already finished. Some people are stitching from the center out in whatever way suited them. But for some of us, like me, who has got lots of other things on the go, and I wanted to be sure of keeping a pace, I divided it up into assignments. So there is an assignment breakdown available. So part 1 was up here, part 2 was just below that, and then we are into parts 3 and 4. So this section here with this tree and the birds, I have called 3 and 4 and split that out so that you can stitch that over a 2-month period. So here is my progress on that. So this is what I had assigned for the 3rd month, and that is really cute because it's introduced some color. I'm looking forward to the April stitching because it will bring in the other pink into the blossoms on the trees, and 2 more birds with a little bit more color in at the top. So we've got all of the, let me just show you, we've got all of the tree blossoms, a few leaves, and the 2 birds will be the next of that part. So I'm very happy with my progress on this. I'm happy that I'm keeping up, because it's really embarrassing when you host a sale and can't keep up. But it is wonderful to see how everyone is enjoying this stitch along on the Facebook group, and you are very welcome to join us. There aren't any stitching police. We have set a deadline of the 31st of December, but only so that we can possibly do a new sale in 2026. So the aim is to get it stitched within the year. We're still very early in the year, and I'm quite sure if you wanted to pick up the pattern that you could join us and catch up and keep up, or just do your own thing and enjoy it. So that is One Stitch at a Time by La-di-da. And I'm stitching it on, when will I ever learn? I'm stitching it on a 40 count Pemberley by Swan Bay Fabrics. Absolutely gorgeous linen. I'm using the called for flosses so far. I might make some changes as we go along, but at the moment I'm using the called for flosses, and all is looking beautiful. So that is that one. And then I have 2 new starts to share with you. I know. Anyway, no excuses, just that's the way it is. I have new starts. So my friend Kathleen at Kathleen's Trodden Trails is starting, or has already started, a stitch along with one of her viewers. I'm not sure if the lady also has a Flosstube channel. I didn't recognize her name, so I'm not sure that she does. So this is a very informal stitch along. There are no hashtags or anywhere to share your progress. Just in light of concerns about current world politics, they felt that it would be really nice to do the Peace Band sampler by Heartstring Samplery. And I've decided to join them just at a slow pace. It's probably just a start along for me rather than a keeping up. I don't think they have any schedule either, so I think they just wanted to start something to give them both a little bit of sanctuary in their stitches, I guess, just from the things that concern them at present. So I decided to join them. And the good news is that I ordered this from 123 Stitch and it got through. So I don't want to tell Northern Ireland stitchers that they'll definitely get something from 123 Stitch, but I have had 2 small parcels delivered. So I don't know if 123, if it's just getting through accidentally, or if 123 Stitch have sorted out all of the regulations and rules that they have to do, because they are a bigger company, so it is entirely possible that they were able to afford the agent's fees and the certifications that are required. So I put in, the reason I have 2 orders is because I was afraid of ordering, and I just thought, well, it was going to accept the order on the website, and I thought I'll just keep it small. I won't order too much. I won't spend too much. So I ordered this and some thread to go with it, and as I say, it came from 123 Stitch, and this is my start. So this is the top band and a start on the second band. Over here I just finished a thread by coming down for a few stitches on that second band, keeping my fingers crossed that everything will match up when I work my way across. It's a very beautiful, beautiful band sampler. You might recall that I stitched another of her band samplers, of Heartstring Samplery's band samplers. I stitched My Necessity, and I stitched that as a gift for my husband for our 25th wedding anniversary. It was a band sampler with a little verse in it, and it was all about coffee. So some of the rows had cafetières and coffee cups in, some had coffee beans in. So I do love this style of sampler that Beth at Heartstring Samplery has designed. And this one has some words from a Cat Stevens song in there about peace. So this is my start. It is on 40 count Longbourn Blush from Swan Bay Fabrics. And at last, I have been brave enough to use this fabric. I love it so much that I didn't want to use it. Which is really silly because I never did tell you, but my hubby bought me a very nice selection of Swan Bay fabrics for Christmas this year. And so I have plenty, and of course I could always try to get some more. But you know, when you really love something and you kind of pet it and stroke it and think, yeah, I could use that, and no, I'll just put it away. So I've finally been brave enough to put stitches in, and of course I'm delighted that I did, because it's beautiful. It's showing as if it's got a few white blotches, but it doesn't. I don't know what has happened there. It doesn't in real life, that's just on the screen. So it's really beautiful. So that is my start on the Peace Band sampler. And my other start was a start on the weekend when I was away in Wales. And as I said, the lovely Yasmin from Yasmin's Made with Love was supposed to join us. and she had agreed to design a little chart for us for our weekend. You know that she is a prolific designer, and she squeezed us in and she designed for us a beautiful little posy chart. I can't show you the chart because there's no finished model that she was able to take a photo of, but it's basically, if you consider this to be a quarter of it, it repeats in a round, and it just looks so beautiful. It is the daffodil and the sweet pea, beautiful spring flowers, and of course the year is in the center. Now, mostly these are the called for colours. I did change out the greens. I just brightened them up a little bit from what was called for. And in my sweet pea, I think I had to change one of they were DMCs that were called for. I had to change one of them because I didn't have the 3 called fors. I had 2 of the called fors, and then I added another one in that I did have in my stash. So I'm happy with how that colour is working out, and it's such a pretty little posy. So thank you, Yas, for designing that for us, and I look forward to stitching some more of that. I did make a start, and I'm quite proud that I didn't have to frog too much on that one while we were away. So that is all of my stitching. It's not as much as I would have liked, but it could have been worse, I guess. I did have something to share with you. For my plans, I don't know exactly where I'm going with my plans. I do feel a little bit frustrated because I have fallen behind on the schedule I have, in my head, just because I haven't been up to par. But it's really not a big drama. It's really not. So I don't know what I'm planning. I don't know what I'm planning precisely, other than to try to catch up or keep up or something like that. I do have another WIPCO call that I want to fit in the next couple of weeks for this month. So that is my Christmas list. Maybe it's Silver Creek Samplers, actually. Yeah, I think it's Silver Creek Samplers. So that's my Christmas list. It was one of the 50 starts last year, and I enjoyed that. So it has been called. So that'll be 2 nights at that for 5 hours. Dream of a Winter Garden, I would love to see that finished by the end of this month, but I don't know if I can. I don't know if a thread a day is enough to finish it, or if I'll be able to find a little bit of extra time to push it over the line. It's not a biggie if it isn't, but it is getting close, and it would just be lovely. It would be lovely to see it finished. So we'll see what I can do with that one. And then the other plan that I do have and will do my utmost to stick to is that on the 20th, it is the spring equinox. And so it is time to start the Spring Lady from the Barbara Anna 4 Seasons stitch. Along with Jackie from Comfort Stitching, we are doing this Barbara Anna 4 Seasons sal for the year, and you're very welcome to join us. We have bought the pattern and we are stitching 1 lady per quarter of the year, the season that we are in, and we both happen to be Northern Hemisphere stitchers. So we are starting with the Spring Lady on the 20th of March. So I'm looking forward to that because I enjoyed the winter one immensely, and they're so pretty and the colours are so beautiful. So I'm looking forward to that very much. Beyond that, well, we'll just see what happens. I want to stitch everything all the time, and well, that just doesn't happen. For this week's Get Connected segment, I'm encouraging you to DIY connect. And what I mean by that is, if you have met some stitchy friends, maybe at a retreat, maybe at a local group, then why not consider doing what we did last weekend and saying to 3 or 4 friends that, oh, would you like to go away for a weekend and do your own little stitchy retreat? It's very different from one of the bigger retreats, but it can be so lovely, and it could be the start of something wonderful for you. So if you could be brave enough, if you fancy having a go, people that you've been chatting with for a while, I'm not suggesting that you go away on weekends with people who are complete strangers to you, but people that you've been chatting with for a while, maybe you could reach out to. So have a think about that. Have a think about, how you might do that. Keep it simple. It doesn't have to be complicated. It really and truly doesn't. And in fact, the more simple it is, the more likely you are to enjoy it, I think. So consider how you might reach out and make connections with folks in the community. For the one special thing this time, I am relating back to my weekend away last weekend, and that special thing was my first visit to a local needlework shop. Now, last weekend on Saturday, Sally was very kind and she drove us over to the Nimble Thimble, which is a needlework store near Oswestry in Wales, and it's owned by the lovely Chris, who was very kind, who welcomed us in, who offered us some space upstairs to sit and stitch and have a cup of tea as well, since we were a group. And she made us feel very welcome in her shop, and she was so accommodating. She let us rifle. I don't think there was a single pattern in that shop that wasn't rifled through on last Saturday. And we were able to see her beautiful store, which is so sweetly set up and filled with gorgeous, gorgeous models. I know people who go to local needle workshops all the time say there's nothing like seeing the model, and there really isn't. It was just wonderful to have my first experience of a needlework store and to see the gorgeous models that she had there. Now, Chris's shop has a lot of drawn thread patterns, and I've only ever seen drawn thread patterns once, and I was interested in them, but it was at the stitching show that I talked about in November, and because there were only 2 cross stitch places in that show, the place was hiving. You couldn't even get near anything, and I just can't be doing with that kind of crowd. So I did see them and thought, oh, those are really pretty, but I didn't investigate or get to look at them in any detail. But it was wonderful at Chris's shop, at the Nimble Thimble, to be able to have a look in more detail. And there were, in all honesty, 3 or 4 that I would have loved to pick up, but in due course. So I did pick up a drawn thread. All of the drawn thread charts at Nimble Thimble are already kitted for you. And it's great because the fabric is there. The floss, which is usually silk, is all, pre-cut for you, so you don't have to buy entire skeins of everything. It's a very affordable option. This one was just $29.95, which I think is amazing. So this is what I purchased. I did see the model for it and I loved it, really loved it. So it's called Random Thoughts, and it's a sampler, as you can see. There's a drawn thread hem on it, and then further stitching outside of that hem, that drawn thread border. There are some charms, so all of the charms are in the kit as well. It's just gorgeous. The model was framed, and I have to say the model was nicer than this picture. Just in the sense of the finish, but it was beautiful to be able to see it finished. So Random Thoughts by the Drawn Thread was my big purchase at the Nimble Thimble. It does come with a fabric, Summer Khaki, and I've never stitched on that before. And it looks so much darker than the picture on the chart, and it was not what the model was stitched on. The model was stitched on something much more akin to this color here. So I think, in all honesty, I won't use that fabric for this kit. I think I will try to find something like this because it was beautiful. So I'll probably change out the fabric, but I can always use the fabric for something else. So it's no problem at all. And it was so beautiful. It really was. I mean, this picture is not going to do it justice because they never do. But it was so lovely, so elegant and so delicate. She had some stitches there as well that are no longer available, that you can't, not drawn thread, but other designers that you can't get. They were just by her, by the door of the shop. And there was one of them I could have just stared at for hours and hours on end, but it's not available anymore. And but it was just stunning and beautifully elegant stitching. So I'm assuming Chris did the stitching, but I don't know for sure. Anyway, I also bought a couple of patterns when I was there. So I bought Peacock Manor by Pansy Patch Quilts and Stitchery. I love the colours. Love the colours in this one. Just thought it was a happy little stitch. So add that to stash to stitch one day. And then a couple of us came across this Stacey Nash friend to my friend pin keep stack. Beautiful, really beautiful. So here's the picture on the back to see how you could display them all stacked. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. So we'll be adding that to my stash as well. So that was my haul from the Nimble Thimble. I enjoyed my visit immensely and would recommend it if you are in that area near Oswald Street in Wales. And it was a very cute little setting that they were in, sort of maybe converted farm buildings, stone buildings. There was a lovely weaver in the building as well. She was weaving the most gorgeous colours and designs. It was just beautiful. I could have watched her for hours. And there are other little businesses in that development as well. So it's really worth a little trip if you're in the area, especially if you've got some stitchy friends with you. So thank you very much to Chris for making us welcome and for sharing her beautiful shop with us last Saturday. Before I go, I have a reminder and a share away for you. So the reminder, I'm going to pop some pictures in as I'm chatting. The reminder is that Cotton and Twine have another subscription box releasing. You can order this one. This is the March box. You can order it up to the 25th of March. If you would like this box. The design is a collaboration with Yaz from Yasmin's Made with Love, and it's called Hello Spring. It's a fun little spring chart, beautiful flowers, those kind of folk flowers that Yaz is so well known for, and a lovely little bear. I think he's playing peekaboo behind that tree. And of course, as always with the Cotton and Twine boxes, you get everything fully kitted, so you'll get your fabric, you have a choice, Aida or linen. You will get your threads pre-sorted and a needle to stitch with, and you will get the pattern in the box as well. You'll also get finishing items. So in this box there's a lovely trim and a yellow gingham fabric to help you finish into I believe it's a pillow finish, this one. You will also have a gift in the box, and this gift is a bear needle minder. It's a really great representation of the bear in the design itself, and some gummy bear sweets. So all fun, all a lovely treat for yourself. It's a very affordable box. It's £20 for the Aida box, £22 for the linen box, and then you have postage and packaging on top of that depending where you are in the world, but it is a very affordable little box. It's also a very flexible subscription scheme that they have, so you can subscribe just on a month by month basis. You're subscribed and you can skip if one of the months isn't for you, because you do get to see it sort of towards the end of the month. They will release pictures of what next month's box will be, and you can make a decision then, so you can hop in and out as it were, or you can choose to purchase a 3-month or a 12-month subscription, which means that you get a little bit of discount on each monthly box. So have a look at that. I will put all of the links for that below for you. And then the last thing just before I go is a share away. So I have some more patterns, beautiful patterns that have been gifted to me by viewers. I have chosen some that I will stitch and some I'm going to share on with to you. Sorry, getting all the words wrong today. I'm going to share on to you. So the first is Easter Bunny Row by Bent Creek. I'll hold it up a little bit closer. That is very sweet. And the next one is Teresa Cogut, Prim Hen in a Basket. So they're quite different, but I'm going to send them together to one winner. If you would like to win these, please use the word Easter in your comment. And the rules for the share away are please be over 18, because I'm going to have to ask for your mailing address. So be over 18, please be a subscriber. I will post anywhere in the world, so international entries are very welcome. And just don't use any of the words in your comment like freebie, giveaway, winning prize, anything like that that attracts bots who are just trying to steal items for resale or whatever else they do with them. But they certainly aren't stitching them, so I only want these to go to stitchers. So Easter is the word that you need to use if you're interested in that little share away. I will call the winner when I'm back in hopefully 2 weeks' time. And until then, folks, please stay well and stitch happy. Bye.